Welcome back to the Stag Raw podcast. This episode, I'm joined by Ryan Nicholson. You might remember Ryan from episode 188 and 160. We talk a little bit about bush balance, how it went, how it's going, and just the impact that it had and will continue to have, but not necessarily being run in the same way that it did the last year. I had the privilege of going down to Wairarapa, and what a beautiful block that was. Great place for honey. Not so good at the moment for bush balance, but Ryan is someone who solves problems and gets out there, gets rid of the excuses and makes things happen, as was evident with that first year of bush balance. So make sure you check out Bush Balance. Links are in the show notes. And, of course, Ryan's links there as well. If you or your loved one have some aches and pains setting in, or an injury that needs support to heal, consider topping up your body with Cane's Deer Velvet. It's packed full of amazing nutrients that the body uses in maintaining the immune system, bones, joints, circulation, and general well-being. Find out more at www.canesdeervelvet.com and use the code STAGRAW252 for a 20% introductory discount. Drink Wairarapa is the world's smartest brain food, 100% natural, caffeine-free, effects you can feel. Use the code STAGRAW at checkout for 20% off. My voice is sounding particularly gruff and low this morning. Excuse the coughs there. It's school holidays, so time stamping this one. Anyway, enjoy this episode of the Stag Raw 296 with Ryan Nicholson.
Stuff, yeah. Too hot from there anyway.
Oh, that's real good.
So you going to sleep?
He's by the bowl, lying flat. Ryan, it's not quite the Circle of Savages bloody brainstorm session, is it?
No. No.
I think to really get full effect, would have to fly the weapon up. Ryan Miller. Rob Miller.
Yeah, no, he is the weapon. He seems to be the consistent hard charger of the group, setting the bar pretty high, that man.
How did you go on altitude?
I think I was planning some pretty gnarly stuff. I really wanted to do a big day, like a 2,000 or 3,000 metre day up the hill at the back of my place.
Like Carterton side?
Yeah, up Mount Dick. So there's I think it's 400 metres up or something. About
should have just gone Mount Alpha. There's 3 hills.
Yeah. Got to go with what's handy, I think that's half the gig is Circle of Savages is making it work for your making it fit into your lifestyle and work for your circumstances and things like that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those boys down south, they got some pretty cool places to hang out and do these sort of challenges, but I think it might work against them sometimes. Long drive for a swim for some of them, I think.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, that was my dumb idea.
Yeah, it's good though. Put old Kane through the pressure cooker.
That was quite good, Because like running's obviously his forte, and he doesn't even have to train for it. He can just he's got that mental switch for running, and although he didn't quite have the physical resilience this time, did he? He came unstuck at about 12k.
Yeah, I think. Wow, he's a busy man too. Like, I've got the fortunate benefit of working a desk job, so you've got a bit of a recovery, opportunity there. Whereas if you're on your feet, dealing with stock and stuff during the day, you don't really. She's a different gig.
What a farm he's got too.
Oh, mate, I've been there. I took the old dog up there and pretended I knew something about putting a pair of boots on for a second, and he took me around the farm in the morning and stuff, and me and the dog were very much out of our element. But, yeah, it's a wicked spot. So cool. Right up there by Taranaki.
Yeah. I filled in a farming CV to work on the Mondays that I
have Billy. So the idea would be drop her off at Taupo Airport at like 9 in the morning, and then go to a not day's work, but some work on a farm.
Mm.
And yeah, it was like, I've done a termination knot, but if you got me out there to do it, I might be able to do the knot, but you'd still have a shit fence. Yeah, I'm very much the manual labour stuff. I can dig a hole, staple on some battens. But
simple movements.
Do some scrub cutting. But I was like, can't drive a tractor, can't operate a chainsaw.
I think you just got to roll in with a place of humility, and just say, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm keen. Show me. I'll try not to break too much.
which is what I did do the one day. I would have got some chainsaw experience. So yeah, like one pull and
yeah.
I'm like, oh, we can't use that without a bloody starter.
Yeah, I think I was most worried about the dog chasing the cattle or something. I was sitting there. I said, bro, I don't know. When he was about 6 months old, he got electrocuted by a fence near cattle, and he's never forgiven them since. And I said, I just don't know what he's going to be like in close proximity. He's like, oh, he'll be right. And I was like, you sure?
He runs along beside the cattle. There's a ditch and an electric fence.
Yeah. Nah, but he was good. He's pretty chilled out at the best of times. But no, it was nice. It's good to go and sort of meet Kane too. He does a lot of things and ropes me into doing silly things like walking in gumboots long distance and stuff like that. So I think I've met him before through his brother ages ago, but to go and actually spend some time with the dude and have a bit of talk to him, hear what he's about and stuff.
With a bit of context.
Yeah, he's doing some great things, and I think his influence is probably further reaching than he realises sometimes.
Yeah. So what was your process with that gumboot walk home? And just so people get reiterated, you live in Carterton but work in Wellington.
Yeah, so I live in Carterton, work in Wellington. Was it a Friday? I think it was a Friday. So I must have been working from home, I think, actually, that day. And I took a bus to Petone, which is obviously just the sort of northern bit of the harbour, just with my backpack, a pair of gumboots, jumped off the bus.
Did you have some snacks?
Yeah, I was fully loaded.
That was what the backpack was for?
Bro, yeah. There was all that's water too, because I was pretty marginal going around where coast. I went around the coast with water, so I didn't know what I was going to get into, so I had probably 5 litres of water.
Even if you found a river or whatever, it'd be brackish as.
Yeah, it's pretty rough out there. Like, there's a lot of sediment and stuff on there, and there's like lots of active slips and things, so you might get a bit of clear water, but then some days, you just never know what you're coming into. I thought, don't go out putting yourself in a completely shit situation or adding to the already uncomfortable situation. So I jumped off the bus, put a cheeky Insta on to fully commit myself. I said something along the lines of burn the boats, because and then everyone knows you're going to do it because he's going to share it. You've got no way home.
Yeah.
So I was like, went to McDonald's, grabbed a feed. I think because I had to wait till 6. So I went and had a big feed at McDonald's.
Why, do you remember why?
I think it started at 6 till 6.
Yeah.
For 48 hours or something. That was the time allowance that they had to get the distance. And then, I was off. Headlamp on. Cold. Round the coast, round the lighthouse of Penkaro and everything out there. No one out there.
Samfla Point, Penkaro.
Yeah.
That's a bit like us in their bloody kitchen.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. But I'd only ever run out there before. And wearing gumboots in the dark, like,
What do you mean by run out there?
I used to run out there with just go for runs out there when I used to live in Wellington and things. So I knew the area, kind of what I was getting myself into.
So it's like a semi-gnarly track close by.
It's like coastal track. Like, you could drive a ute down it. It's not too bad. Yeah. But then as you get further around, it gets obviously less and less maintained, sandy. Turns out sand
in
gumboots was, and you're slipping around in a pair of gummies. Absolutely destroys your feet. I smacked out the first 20 Ks pretty quick. By 30 Ks, I knew I was going to be in some big trouble the next day.
Why was that?
Oh, my feet were just heating up, and you could feel it. Just feeling the slippage around, like you start ending up trying to grip with your feet, when you're walking to try and counterbalance yourself, because you're walking with a headlamp. And,
Yeah.
you know, middle of nowhere.
Stumbling.
Yeah, stumbling around on loose rocks and you know, scree slips and, you know, all that kind of stuff, good stuff, stream beds. Yeah, I went to bed, I think, at about 2, pulled a bivvy bag over myself with a puffer jacket on, had about a couple of hours DOS, and then woke up and walked into the sunrise. Got to Lake Wairarapa, and I was all over the road sort of thing, because my feet were just shot to bits. I ended up getting to 68 k's before I put the call in to the other half, and Rebecca kindly turned up with her car and picked me up, and I managed 69 k's that day, and bandaged the feet up that night, and walked the dog the next day, so I ended up with 72 k's for the weekend. But the thought process, I actually thought we weren't going to get enough people in, so I think
Kane was feeling that way.
Yeah, because I was talking to him earlier in the week, and I was like, "Oh, how many people you got?" And I was sort of like doing the math, and I was like, "He's really going to need some people to smash out some big numbers." And I thought, well, I've always thought about trying to do a 24-hour walk around there, just because I thought it would be fun. Never thought about gumboots. I actually bought the gumboots for it because I'm low-key townie.
Low-key?
Yeah, low-key. I got a pair of cowboy boots, bro. So it's all good.
From America.
Yeah, America. And, and so I thought I'd go and put a big hit out and put myself through the pain, and it was good. If he did it again, I'd do it again, but I'd probably try to have a bit of a better strategy, I think. A bit of flat land, consistent surface would be ideal. And I think you could really put some big numbers in if you knew what you're doing. Much like anything, But more planning and experience. Smash it.
Well, and that's part of the thing, isn't it? A bit more experience. You've already got that experience under your belt, and then what we've been doing the last 6 months is adding to the, like, how hard can I push? Like, that was funny. The 100 Ks accumulated running, did 100, one more run, and ping, and I was like, oh.
What'd you do?
Just my hip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And then I was like, I probably need a stretch, and then I started stretching. I was like, oh yeah, that was probably what was wrong. I hadn't stretched at all.
Yeah, it's a bit of like the savages thing for me is a bit of a misnomer. I think for me, it's more of it's a strategy thing.
Yeah,
you know, like it's how smart can you be to achieve something within feasibility, you know, without, like, you're pushing yourself. Obviously you're doing something that's ever changing every month, so you're looking, there's going to be something that's going to catch you out. Like, you can be running a lot and then it's like, oh, it's rucking, and you're just
then
dragging your ass
elevation and same with you with running, then you get sick and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. So I got sick on the elevation one.
Did you get sick on that one too?
I think so. Yeah. I tore my toe at kickboxing training on the running one, and then had a bit of a shoe where I couldn't get a pair of shoes that fit properly, which is no one's fault except for mine. And then on the rucking one,
that was when you got sick again.
Yeah, I got crook again. Like, obviously my immune system's fantastic, having a 2-year-old licking around, bringing all kinds of treats home and stuff, but that's all part of the thing, you know, like, you find a way.
Yeah.
And I think that's half the challenge in itself, is sitting there and going, all right, if I'm going to do this, how do I plan this? How do I approach it? How do I build it around my life so I'm not skipping out on family time? I'm not, you know, missing out on other training, and I'm not shirking away from work.
Yeah, well, that last week I needed to get up with Nicole. I was like, fuck, I need to get in some, like, I'm probably not going to be able to do this every single day, so I need to get in some big days and almost sandbag it. Like, yeah, it was like, especially when we stayed in Taupo the night, and I was like, oh, here's a chance to get in a 5k ruck, you know, which takes you an hour. Yeah,
it does, and there's no fast way about it, really, unless you want some, you know, unless you're an absolute weapon. Like, rucking is just, you just sit there and take the time. Like, you might get 6k's an hour in the black, but it's just slow and steady work. And I think that's the thing, you know, you're looking at the smart way to do it is just drips and drabs and just accumulate it. Like, don't go out, try and do a 20k ruck. Just do 2k, 3ks, 1k, and just slowly let it tick up. Having a dog helps heaps. Every morning he's like, let's go for a walk. I'm like, right, where's my bag?
Yeah.
Throw it on. I was ticking over 4ks, 4ks in the mornings, and then you give yourself that bit of leeway. You have a day off, and it's like, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting when 50Ks got put out there after doing the 100Ks running. And I was sort of looking at it and be like, I don't think rucking's going to be half as fast.
It's like, you see 50Ks and you think, oh, that should be a piece of piss. But then in the back of your head, something goes,
Yeah.
come on, mate. And then you think about it and it's like, nah, it's not. And I was trying to load my pack up too. I was getting up to like 30 kilos, 30 plus, trying to get it up there. And
how much did that start slowing you down?
not a huge amount, I think the coolest thing about those challenges is how quickly you realize you can adapt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was getting into like the second, third weeks, and you're like, I remember saying to you with a swim, you're like, oh, how's your swimming going? I was like, done a couple of 2Ks, but I reckon I was sort of like, by the end of doing a couple of 2Ks, I was like, I'm real confident I'll be able to get this 3.8. And I think I ended up getting 4.5 in like, tortoise speed, but it was just so feasible when I was doing it. I could feel my body adapting. You just feel like I'm getting into the swing of these things. And if there's anything that teaches you, it's like, it doesn't take long to get stuck into something if you get onto it.
Yeah, at the end of that, I was like, minus the fact that then that I tweaked my hip, but I was like, we did that, and I think I swam twice, and then we ran 100Ks, or I'd run 30Ks, and when I run the 30Ks, I was like, well, I could bike 40Ks. I was like, I could do a 70.3 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, you can swim too. So
yeah. Well, apart from the fact I'm scared of deep water, but
monster soap, hey, A-clay.
That's especially like
that's the best thing, mate. Monster soap.
I asked Simon Cochran what he thinks about the and he's not right in the head, but what he thinks about the lake weed. He's like, what lake weed? And I'm like, God, you live
drag you under, mate.
I was like, you live in a different planet. Like,
who's that?
Simon Cochran.
Yeah. Where's he swim?
Well, when they do the Ironman, they swim
around the lake.
Swim along the buoys. And like, you go out to the buoys and it's just like in your face. And I didn't realise until I wore my goggles out there and I was like, oh, this is not helpful. Like, I know there's nothing under there, but I just don't like it.
Right. When I started trying to face the old deep water I bought a wetsuit and started swimming in Oriental Bay in Wellington.
Yeah.
And like the first time I got in, I just like put my head under and like panicked and was just like come up and was like fuck. And like, you look around and you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? And like I basically fought the panic through to swim, and I was just like, this is stupid. Went home, thought about it, went back the next time, box breathing, slowly went in, like crept through the water until it was up high, and then put my head in and then slowly started swimming. Sweet as, swam, I don't know, 600 meters or something in the water, and came back and I was like, sweet as. I was like, whoa, sweet. But it's that whole, like fighting yourself nearly, and you've sort of just got to sit there and go like rationalize things and sit there and go, well, like, what am I actually doing here? And like one of my mates from work came down with me, and I said, I picked him up and like I said, I'd come for a swim. And he's like, yeah. Because he was one of these guys that signs up for swims. And I said, come for a swim. I've only just started, we can both go out. It'll be good. You have someone else swimming there. Cool. And he got in the car in the morning. I could feel it. I was like, bro, are you all good? And he's like, yeah. And like we got in the pond, and I was like, he started swimming. I could just see him, like he'd swim 2 strokes and be tired, come up and breathe, and then start again. We got out afterwards, and I was like, after I was trying to coach him, I said, just like work on your stroke and just think about what you're doing in your stroke. Don't think about anything else. Try and relax your tension in your body and all this stuff. And we get out, and he goes, it somehow came to light. I can't remember whether he told me or one of the guys at work dobbed him in. But they said, he was up the night before watching shark videos.
Oh,
and I was like, fucking hell. I was like, if there's anything worse you can do is imagine a shark coming up and grabbing you when you're swimming in murky water. And that's what he was doing. Of course you don't want to stick your bloody head in the water. But then again, we went back the next time, box breathing, slow entry in, and he was fine. He had a great swim.
Yeah.
They got a bit tired at the end.
That's what I started trying to do. I started trying to just swim along the lakefront, and I can do that easy as. But then I turn my head a little bit to the right, going down towards the loos, and I see that weed over there. I'm like, I still don't like it.
Yeah, I'm a bit funky about that too, eh? Like, I don't know what it is, and it's sort of, I don't know whether I've watched some telly or something about someone getting caught in it or something.
In the lake weed?
Well, just in weed in general, like too much Baywatch or Aquaman or something. But I can definitely understand where that comes from, like that fear of getting like caught in it or something, and you think like, but then again, I've touched it before and not got caught.
Yeah.
It's just, I think we prefer those
perfect
circumstances as well.
I did get told a story about getting nearly caught. That might have been in Willows.
Oh, yeah, well, that would be any ideal.
But
rivers are a bit weird, though.
But I think it was in the lake that some willows that had been washed.
Oh, washed in.
I don't know how they get washed in Lake Taupo, but
they have to come from the other end.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or something. Yeah, I think we, like, when you're kind of a bit resistant to something to where you're pretty good at finding the imperfections in your plan, and so then like catastrophizing and it's a bit windy but choppy.
Yeah, even seeing a trout swim out, I was kind of like, that's cool. And then I was like, right.
How big did trout get?
Yeah, where are those catfish at?
Where the fuck are going to bite my toe?
Yeah, where are those catfish and how big are they?
They're down the other end.
Yeah, they're down the other end.
Right. There's fucking heaps of them though. Yeah, I think they got a bit of a drama down there with those. But yeah, no, I'm coming back to Kane, like full credit. I've done the trying to swim thing.
Yeah.
In the pool, and
Tim Ferriss has done the try and swim thing.
Yeah.
He's got some cool experience that he relays about that. Being in his 30s.
Oh, bro.
He did like the immersion swimming to learn, which I think having heard that and then teaching Billy to swim, I'm like, actually, the immersion method is actually what you do, how you do teach a toddler how to swim.
What's the immersion method? Is it?
It's like learning to be comfortable floating, and like, not to throw him under the bus, but my dad's not a great swimmer. And he's real rigid.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of us, like, I brought up swimming.
Yeah, calm and collected in the water. Eh?
Yeah, I think I'd done my 1500 by the time I was 8. Yeah.
That's the tension, eh? Like I think to when I train and do kickboxing and stuff like that, like the more relaxed you can be, right? Like you see guys come in and they're so tense, their muscles are so tight and they're like looking at you, and you think, man, you're getting tired just standing in front of me, like. And I used to be that person years ago. Now I'm a bit older and I probably don't care as much. I'm probably not as attached to.
Are you still sparring in your training?
Yeah, yep. Still sparring. Being fully conscious of the neurological risks.
Don't kick me in the head.
Don't hurt me, I'm old. Not that it matters. But yeah. So like, we're still doing that and that, but like, because I'm not actively training for a fight, I'm not bringing an ego into the gym and things like that. I can enjoy it. I can get into flow and look for openings and things and sort of make it a bit more of a chess match. And if I get caught, I don't feel like, oh no, if I'm getting caught, therefore next fight I'm going to get slapped. And there's not that thought pattern that goes on in my head, so I can actually sit there and enjoy it. And I'm probably less fit than I was when I was training ages ago, but I can train for longer and I'm not as exhausted when I'm finished, and I can recover quicker. So I just don't feel like I've got that tension in my body. Like I don't have that internal pressure. Just don't get it wrong, don't stuff it up. Worst case scenario, right. You're just sitting there going, hey, this is kind of cool, this is fun, look, just jamming around. And I think with the swimming, Kane sort of alluded to it, and I've felt it as well, like you have to relax to get your breathing right. You can't power out of swimming, it's technique and stuff, and yeah, it's she's a bit of a mission sometimes to get that balance right. You have to sort of be comfortable in that environment before you can start developing further and pushing it further. I think
even for me, like I know what feeling the water is like, and I wasn't feeling it that good, and it was one of those situations of like, I just got to get it done. And so like, not the same at all, but like what Sam Harvey was talking about, going for that world record of backyard, the first 60 laps were just shit, because it's just like, oh yeah, we've got to get out of the road what I've already done.
Yeah,
and that's the same with like trying to swim 3.8 Ks. You've still got to swim the first 100 meters,
yeah, that's
second
right.
100 meters, third 100 meters, and like, you know, you and that's what drives you insane when you're training swimming, is like you just live this life of counting in fours, and it's mind numbing.
And then you self-doubt yourself, like, is that 48 or 40? Yeah. I was going to buy an abacus, because I reckon that's the hardest part, is you get frustrated at counting your laps.
Yeah, I broke it down into going down the pool. I was breathing on my left and coming back down the pool. Oh no, I do. No, that's right. I do the first 50 on my left and the second 50 on my right.
It's like you're showing me up. I like breathe all on my left.
Well,
and
I
then
used
like
to do
every
that.
400, 500 meters, I start stretching my neck so it doesn't like start twisting off my shoulders, and then I crack on, because I just fill up with water if I breathe the other way.
I think between only breathing on my right hand side, playing soccer in Invercargill, and really not even considering my left foot for a very long time, and being a breaststroker, I reckon that's why my right hip
A bit funky.
is so much more funky than my left hip.
Yeah,
And why I needed surgery on my right hip. And I like pulled my hip flexor when I was 12, probably again, same reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff like that, What was the guy? You know, you get those what do they call them, muscle viruses, when one thing's a bit funky and it starts affecting half your body and pulling your shoulder, and it's your ankle and all those things, It's like...
Well, even again,
something's got to go first.
I reckon that right hip was probably from the left knee on the 30K, transferred into the right hip for the rest of the month, and ping, away she goes.
Salt bikeless, right?
Oh, I was surprised you haven't done it already.
I thought about it. We've got to do a bit of maintenance on our one. I think we've been thrashing it a bit. Starting to look a bit funky.
There's a chain driving the wheel, eh?
Yeah, it's chain driving the wheel, but it's all quite enclosed, so I think I have to pull it apart, give it a bit of a lube up, and I'm speaking from absolute nonsense. I'm just going to hit it with a screwdriver or something and see what it looks like underneath, and see which bits look like they...
Not going to watch the YouTube video first?
No. I'll go full male and have a crack at it, and then wait till it's got it on the floor, mate, and then I'll look it up on the internet. Experience is a good teacher. I will now, because Rebecca will give me grief if I destroy it, because she's a main financier of that one. But yeah, no, I quite like that one. It was quite good when we were getting into it last year, but hard on the gear, doing 1,000 a week, but you get real skinny real fast, eh?
It was a good way to lead into Christmas.
It's pretty rough. And I think the problem, like, I really enjoyed doing it, but the problem is you have to have a lead up, and then you do it and you're a bit cooked for half an hour and stuff, and I wasn't being the most present I could be with my family for a period of time, and like I say, it's all about trying to balance it into your current life as well, eh? Like, I know I liked your quote the other while, no solutions, just trade-offs.
Yeah.
No perfect solution, just trade-offs. And that's so true, eh? Like, you can be elite, but there's always something that's been given up somewhere.
Yeah.
And, I don't mind not being the fittest man in the Wairarapa if I'm a good, if I'm there for my family and stuff like that as well. Meeting my responsibilities as a father and as a, with my job and running the dog. Always got to run the dog. You can't be all... I'm not taking the dog out for a stroll. I went and bought him, so...
Yeah,
signed up for it. You got to do the time.
As I was saying to you before, guess what, Annie? Ryan's out walking that dog.
Yeah. Rain, hail, shine, mate. Frosts in the morning, 5 a.m. Hit it.
It's so good to have some frosts this year. Far out.
I don't know. You running in them?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
outlifting that
refreshing,
cold,
bro?
That cold barbell.
So you're standing on the grass, eh? What's the standing on the grass thing?
Oh, it's just another extension of the whole Wim Hof circulation, hot cold principle. What are you doing, Nash? Come and have a listen.
Yeah, he's just heard us talking shit about him.
Yeah. It's not long. It's just literally walk around that circle and back on. And you just, get basically numb feet and then circulation feet. And
yeah, I thought it would be good for your circulation. It sort of bring you back to the present too, I imagine. There's not a lot to think about when your feet are cold.
No. It's like earthing big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't do it when the sun comes up, or is that?
Oh, and then that's
different, eh? When you stand bare feet and watch the sun come up or something.
I did that on the weekend if there's a frost.
Yeah.
I've had Billy out there doing it with me before as well. Yeah. Good. I'm keen on instilling a little bit of crazy.
To embrace it, I think, it's good to be a little bit different. A lot of people being similar these days, and
but Wim Hof's almost become memeified.
Yeah, it's a cool thing to do, eh?
Yeah.
I think there's that and a few other things. That's like the new mindfulness. I practice mindfulness. Yeah, sweet.
Do you?
No, wow. I try to. Always end up falling asleep when I do it now. Parent of nearly a 2-year-old, mate. Your brain goes. Do you have the headphones
when you're out with the dog?
Not in the morning. No.
No.
So I'm just running usually with him. On the odd occasion when I'm feeling funky, I might play with my phone and just out loud, play with country music and run the roads. I just get down with it. But
that guy.
Well, no one else out there. No one's going to complain. They're all from the country.
Yeah.
I like to just sort of sit with my thoughts a bit there, and that's sort of like a low stimuli input zone for me. Think about things and try and psych myself up for the day. It's getting up for work and stuff. Obviously, if I'm running super early, it's because I'm going to work, and sort of trying to set a bit of intention for the day and remind myself why I'm going to work and things like that, and so I can get to do things like run with my dog.
Are you feeling of much angst anymore?
Angst?
Yeah, I think I got rid of a lot of angst around. I don't know where it was, somewhere, and I don't really find myself finding angst when I'm out running anymore. I think it's just like you say, sucking yourself up, reinforcing what you do, things like reinforcing, well, this is what I got to do, and I got to keep doing this to achieve what I want.
Yeah, that's it. It's the price of reminding myself the price of doing business. There's always that price you pay to get what you want.
Yeah.
What it is you should be choosing it, really, and I pretty much get to choose mine. I'm fortunate enough that we've sort of designed / fallen into a lifestyle which I can quite clearly say, hey, you pretty much chose to do this, man, so you better, if you don't like it, who are you pointing at? But no, angst, I don't think so. I think I definitely have been in my past. When I think about, going to kickboxing when I was younger, it's, because half of you want to compete and learn it and be good, but half of it's just because you want to be a bad motherfucker and because you're angry, right? And you're sort of you want people to respect you and things like that, and you think by being an aggressive person or something like that that's going to solve some issues, but that doesn't really get respect as such. And I've actually was thinking about this obviously when I drove up here, listening to a variant of music. I grew up in Taupō, Palmerston North, a little bit in Rotorua, and I drove through all of them. And for a long time, when I drove through there, I would feel uncomfortable. And sometimes, I drive through Rotorua and I'd listen to rap, gangster rap, and I drive through Palmy and I listen to Pantera or something, because that's what I was listening to then. And you jump back in that environment and you're and it makes you uncomfortable. Taupō, I was too young to listen to music, really. I wasn't listening to too much, but probably a bit of Linkin Park when I was 13.
Good song.
Yeah, a little bit angsty though, eh? And
Metallica.
Yeah.
What was that? The prison one? Yeah. When they went to San Quentin.
Oh.
What was that song even called?
Don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, but I think now what I've realised is I can drive through those towns and just smile and look around. It's a really cool thing. It's you've sort of accepted that that's not your life anymore, you're not that person anymore, and you can just close that chapter and be who you are driving through, and you have that sort of comfortable confidence sort of around you. And I just sort of feel like, hey, it's cool if I saw someone that was from there, but hey man, like I wouldn't be like, oh fuck that guy, you know, like. And sometimes that's a hard thing to shake off because we hold these things just, you know, embedded somewhere in our brain that we just never look at it, and you think, oh fuck, I hate Palmy. I used to say that, like, I spent like 2 years there, 2.5 years there, and it's like, why do you hate Palmy? And to actually have to go there and be like, wow, maybe I'm not proud of the person I was there. Maybe there's people there that didn't like me for who I was, and they probably had good reason. And then every time I drive through it, it reminds me of that. So is that something I need to start figuring out?
I've got that relationship with Auckland.
Yeah. Not
and
the traffic.
Hey, not
just the traffic.
Nah. It was just like trying to get there, trying to get to that goal, and like drinking and women, like it's trying to find some sort of escapism or answer or relief, or I don't know what the hell. And like when we went there 2 weeks ago, and I was like sitting on Ponsonby Road, and like went back to Bambina, and I remember going in there like thinking, you know, not being able to, why the fuck was I going to have brunch in Ponsonby Road when I was a student? God, so thick. But to go there and sit there and enjoy it and just be like, wow, this place is amazing. And like walk in and there's like Peter Burling and Blair Chick in one table and old Dean Lonergan on the other one. I'm like, this place is weird. And you see like a Maserati drive past and then another one drive past, like far out. Like,
have you?
Why was I sitting here as a student? I was in no way, shape or form in that world.
Yeah, but you want to get to that world fast. So you start assuming that identity early. Yeah. And then like, you know, because you think that that's your signal of success, right? You think, oh, if I can be in here and doing this is the life. Yeah. I hate brunch. I call it late breakfast. Fuck, it pisses me off. People are like, do you want to go to brunch? I'm like, bro, no, I've had breakfast, brother. Like I'll meet up with people to catch up with them, but like I'm not holding out on the feed till then. So like I'm getting up. But do you think? When was the last time you were in Auckland?
Oh, no, I've been to Auckland a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's all been brief. And so then what was also cool is we went out to and watched varsity play. And was watching Kurt Eklund manage to get a dispensation from the Blues to play his 100th game for varsity, and it just so happened that we're standing beside his dad and his sister. Like we had a lot to do with him with sevens and stuff back when I was playing there, and Mark England introduced me to his partner, and she's like, oh, how do you know? I was like, I played here 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a long time.
Yeah. It's time to be an adult now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there maybe late last year. I think I was fortunate enough to catch up with a couple of the lads up there and things, which is great. But why I ask is I felt like it really had that big international city feel now. Like it's the real haves and have-nots. Yeah. Like, yeah, you say like Maseratis and shit, and then there's some people who are just doing it really tough on the main drag now. Yeah. And they've it felt like Vancouver, like they closed the toilets in public spaces because they're getting vandalised and stuff, and so there's no, you really struggle to find a place to go to the job, which is from a tourist perspective. Well, someone is there for work. Big drama for me. I'm like,
do you know where the best public toilets are, Ryan?
Tell me. Now that I'm not there.
Flash hotels.
Yeah, well, that's probably where I was staying. But it's a long trip. Yeah. Anyway, but I just really felt like it lost that sort of cool, clean, city of sales feeling. And
it was the same when I was there in November. I had 2 hours to kill. Yeah. And I was down Queen Street in LTS Square. And I was like, where the fuck are all the people?
And it's just I sat there outside on Queen Street, just minding my own business, waiting for someone, and no one talks to you. No. The only person who talked to me was a man who had just quit drugs and he had found Jesus and he wanted to have a bit of yarn to me about it. And I said, you know what, mate, sweet, you go hard. I have a yarn. I'm waiting for time. And So him and a road worker said hello to me. No, 3 or 4 days I was there.
Yeah, we had that on Ponsonby Road. This guy like looked us dead in the face, and I was like, "G'day, man." He just kept looking me dead in the face and carried on. I was just like, "What was that?" I said to the guy, "I was like, what was that?"
Yeah, I went for a run in the morning down the viaduct or something, and I was just like, giving everyone the what up, hey bro, hey, out, and no one. Like, people made a conscious effort. They looked at me, I said, "G'day," and they'd look down and look away and keep running, and I was just like, fuck, am I like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, am I not running properly or something?
Yeah.
I wasn't even playing my country music out the back, but like, I was just like, fuck, it's hard to make a friend around there, eh? And I can see why, it feels like you're an obstacle to other people's progress up there, and you're just like, you're an object, you're just the person in front of them in the queue, or the person who's going to steal their seat on the bus, or something, or like just the car in front of them that's stopping them from getting to work, and it doesn't feel like that whole community feel anymore. And I just really noticed it. I haven't been up there for ages, but I sort of just felt today. I felt a bit sad, to be honest. I felt sorry for the people that are doing it rough, and I just sort of thought, it's sad to see our country sort of going the way of those big cities where people are just sort of getting visibly left behind now.
Yeah, it was awesome. Also, like, we went for a wander around Freeman's Bay, and it was cool to like walk around there and go, these places are cool, but I don't want to live with them because your neighbour's right there. Whereas back when I'd be at uni, it'd be like, just the whole escalated of like, I'll be a rich ass optometrist, and like
party on my balcony, I would cracked it.
Yeah,
champagne,
shoot some Moet off the balcony.
Yeah.
Look at the Harbour Bridge and the Sky Tower. Like, nah.
Yeah, and you realise all that stuff's pretty empty action. when you sort of you get to it, it's not going to fill your soul and keep you going. I don't reckon. Well, for some people it might. It's just not me. It's not what drives me, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately for you and I, there's a lot of stuff that would have to achieve in order to get there. It's not out of the question, but again, it's like that. What are you willing to do to get to that place?
Yeah, that's right. And everyone has to make sacrifices. And
you could have done it in the centre of Wellington.
Yeah,
you're probably again 5 or 10 years too late on that one.
I did live in a house in Kandala, which had 120-degree views of the harbour and all this nonsense. Didn't have a proper shower in the place, but and we were paying $700 net for rent, and this was years ago.
Yeah,
and we rented it out, and it was just a terrible place to live. Like, glass windows and everything. You couldn't heat the thing up. You throw money at the heat pump, and it wouldn't just. Yeah, power bills are massive. All you did was you'd invite your friends around for them to make a mess at your house on a Friday or a Saturday, and you'd drink on the balcony, and everyone would tell you this place is cool, and then they'd leave for you to clean up. Yeah. And you wake up and you're still hungover, and you're still tired, and you've still got no money.
You're still cold.
Yeah, the power bill's still skyrocketing. Yeah. And you sit there and go, this is living.
Yeah.
And then some days it's not.
Why did you move to Wellington?
I moved to Wellington to go to university when I was 19.
Yeah.
And I had a mediocre relationship with alcohol. Actually, I had a really good relationship with alcohol. I had a mediocre relationship with studying. And I flunked out on my law degree by, like, my first year law by a couple of marks. I could have got...
So that's not getting in, or you're in?
I didn't get in.
Yeah.
I passed my commerce. I was doing a double degree. I passed my commerce fine, and I missed out on the law entry for second year, but I could have got multi-entrance. But I declined it, basically because I was just so embarrassed of myself. I was just like, and I wasn't managing my money well. All these different things. I was coming down trying to be someone that I wasn't.
Yeah.
Going through a few other things, and just bailed out. Ended up starting working at the university.
Yeah.
And been there ever since. 15 years. Now we might get restructured. Touchy. Yeah. So see how that works. But you take different paths in life and stuff, and sometimes you have to bomb out to sort of figure things out as well. I think sort of
Was Wellington the same as Otago, that you just had those 2 full-year papers and like...
Nah.
No.
You had 3 first-year law papers, and then fill it up with the other ones.
Fill it up with everything else.
The commerce ones and things like that. But I was in it for the wrong reasons, mate. I thought I was going to be...
You're going to be Suits.
I was going to be a fucking commercial lawyer, and
Yeah.
I didn't even know what they really did, but I thought, fuck, I'll be the man, and I'll figure it out.
You'd be Danny Crane.
Yeah, I figured things out before, and it's nearly an arrogance thing. Like I was sitting there and I did all right at school, so I can turn it on when I need to, and not taking it seriously, and got the big blowout, and
were yours weighted 40% times 2, and you're like, oh shit.
I couldn't even tell you, bro. To be honest, I just remember failing, and realizing that I wasn't going to get in, and being like, fuck. My parents have been giving me money to pay my bills and stuff because I wasn't managing my money well.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck, man, you need to sort your shit out. Still took me another 5 years to sort my shit out, but I was that was the first kick in the guts in which I sort of looked at it and thought, man, you got to figure it out, or you got to stop doing this because it's not going to work.
Not feasible.
Yeah, and here I am back at the university studying now. So
yeah.
It's great. I love it.
Did you rack any student loan?
Yeah, I racked up $7,500, paid it off.
Yeah.
Now I just pay as I go. Much nicer.
Partially through work?
Yep. Yeah, so what I pay it, it's like the most beautiful bet you can ever make. I pay it, and, funding willing with the financial situation, but previously I pay it if I pass. They reimburse me because it leads in towards my work interests. So it's not a bad gig, and it's not a opportunity to be sneezed at, and I've given up a few opportunities in my life that I didn't realise were opportunities, and I'm not going to miss this one.
No.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for whatever comes of the next few weeks, months.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting space, and I've been I feel alright about it, like one of my roles is up to be disestablished, but I think at some point, like we were sort of alluding to earlier, you have to back yourself at some point, and like if you've been putting in the effort over time, you hope that your capability has been building and you can rely on that. I think that's why prioritizing capability over comfort is such a great idea, and some people struggle with that a bit. You sit there and recline into your job a bit and ride the wave. Something like this comes up and you think, shit, have I been doing enough? And suddenly you start having anxiety and freaking out and looking at yourself going, oh, well, these people are better than me, fuck, what am I doing? I'm a no-hoper and stuff like that. You've got to really back your capability, and I think that works in most situations. You sit there and go, well, A, someone was stupid enough to hire you in the first place, so chances are you might be able to get another job. But B, if you've been working on being capable, you can deal with situations. Right, I've got skills that I can move to, and like it's an uncomfortable time. And don't get me wrong, it's not the same for everyone. We've all got families to feed and people in different financial situations. But knowing that you've put the time in and you're working on yourself and developing yourself and having that confidence in your capability to overcome things is, you can't do it then. Like, oh, we're gonna do a restructure or whatever they're calling it. You can't go, right, time to pull my socks up. You should have been doing this for the last 3 years, mate.
Yeah, as I was going to say, has it been something that's been transparent from the C-suite, or has it just been the writings on the wall every year that international students don't turn up? Has it just kind of been like the whole business support going, oh, well, that's going to squeeze us tighter, or what?
Well, yeah, it's international things. Domestic market's going down. And, I mean, if you look at the situation these days, like, look at online education.
Yeah.
Look at free education. MIT's got their curriculum on open course on YouTube. You can watch their videos, watch their lectures. So there's other places where people can learn, and university's not for everyone. And I think people are realizing that when you start going, actually it's really expensive to live in Wellington. My parents are going to have to foot a bill. If you're, ma and pa out in Waipark or something, And you've got, I've got to send my kids down, I'm going to have to fund them and stuff, but we're not doing so well. It's a long way from home. Suddenly, like, the kid might be like, I don't actually want to put my parents through that. I don't want to shortchange my parents and have them suffer for this education, so maybe I can go do something. And people are prioritizing their lifestyles now, and if you look at it, you can jump into a trade. Some tradies have some pretty good lifestyles, mate. You know, when you get to the top of that pile, you're going, weather's looking good, I might go fishing.
Go fishing.
Yeah, mate. Look who's got the boats.
Oh, mate, who do you meet in the hut that's flown in? Fucking concreters and builders.
Yeah, not often accountants and stuff. Academics. So you meet the odd academic in a hut, but they always walk in.
Yeah.
He's got heaps of scrogging on deck.
That was that. In the alpha hut, wasn't it? It was
like
half,
it's a psychology meeting.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Half the psychology department.
Yeah, I was like, what? We're all on bloody Vic holiday. Yeah, so I think people are sort of reevaluating things, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think, you know, it'll eventually make universities a bit more prestigious. Like if it's a bit more specialised and only certain people are going and things like that. Like, I think, to be honest, great universities, great for people that actually want to be there and know what they want to be there for. But I think a lot of people just go because their mates are going.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do when they're 17. They go. Parents put expectation on them, and then they get in first year. And we're talking about improving retention and stuff, but actually some people are probably just realising, fuck, this is not for me. And I have just sort of gone along with the crowd, and I've realised, and time to bail out and figure out what I really want to be doing. How you do that's a different story. But
yeah, and I wonder, like, in the case of clinical psychology, like, the problem is resourcing. Well, it's like, do we actually reallocate some of the gigantic resource these establishments have so that we can run some clinical psychology courses, we can run more GP courses, we can run more human optometrists, you know, like, not that that's a massive need, but there's still something that has a shortage of it.
yeah, well, where do you want the bottleneck? It's
What, in the services supporting the...
Yeah, exactly. Like, we've got all these, you know, you can only pump out so many clinical psychologists.
8, I think, still.
Yeah, I heard something like that. And
but you need supervision, you need lecturing.
It goes, 7 or 9 years or something.
Yeah.
It's so far that I don't even look at it, because I just, you know, what's in front of me is what's important at the moment. But, you know, you're having an increasing demand for it. You look at the rural sector and things like that, and it's all getting cut. But the demand for it's not getting cut.
No.
Like, you can cut staff, but the demand to support the population still remains consistent. And it doesn't seem to be decreasing.
No.
You know, if anything, it's going up. People are sort of experiencing more and more need for it because of various reasons. You know, I'm not even going to go into that because it's all so contextual, but for one reason or another, people need help, and it's just, we can't get it out there fast enough, and why not?
How did you learn to deal with your thoughts? Was it through what you've started to study, or did you learning to deal with your own psychology lead you into finding out more?
I think it was sort of a bit of a hand-in-hand dance there. Like, it was a basic. I've been a bit of a kid who I've been to 7 schools in total, right?
Yeah.
So not often did I have strong, like, long-established relationships with people. So a lot of my thoughts were my conversations in my head and things, a lot of my interactions and things like that. So being quite familiar with the voice in my head, I was always aware of right and wrong and this and that. Not understanding my motivations and things was probably a bit more of a struggle, especially as a young kid and a sort of adolescent, of course. Not understanding your biology, you know. I was thinking
about that today. Like, Bub's coming up, and it's like, man, what would I ask my mum? Like our battles when I was 16, 17, I take most of the responsibility for, because I don't know what the fuck was going on. But, like, what do you think your part of that was?
Man, out of the bottom of my heart, I've apologised to my mum for what I was when I was 16, man. 17, she asked me to leave the house. Like, and I did. Like, I left. I thought I was the man for leaving.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck this. I left.
Where'd you go?
Just flat with some mates from work.
Where were you working?
I was working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
God bless. Shout out. But, you know, and some of my friends at McDonald's were like, wow, if you need a place to you can stay at a place to, you sort your shit out. Operative word being me.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah. But, you know, you don't take responsibility. You know, I didn't sit there. I was like, it's not me. It's everyone else.
Yeah.
Clearly it was me. And, you know, like, I like 10 years later, I just, like, sit there and I'm just like, man, my mother was there. Like, there was her going, I don't know what to do with you, and I have to sort of, you know, take these steps to look after my own well-being and stuff like that, because you're just being such a menace. And like now she goes, oh no, you're a good kid. Was not. But yeah, and you sit there and you're just like, man, like your parents are always just doing the best that they can, and you never know that till later, you know, like you sit there and your parents can, some people's parents might absolutely balls up their childhood, but to understand that they're doing the best with the tools that they have is a humbling thing, and you have to be, you know, there's show a bit of gratitude for that sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Like, man, like being a parent now for myself, I'm just like like they say, there ain't no book. There are books, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't read too many of them.
Might get confused.
Yeah. But there's that. But coming back to the thing like thoughts, yeah, I think a lot of it was unpacking it. Like a lot of my thoughts were probably like the 3 a.m. thoughts, but like when you're on the other end of a big drinking session or something and you've got to go home, and it's that lonely quiet, you know, and you're walking home. And I used to ring my friends overseas, ring my friends that I knew would be on drugs, so I'd ring them up and I knew they'd be awake, have a yarn to them. What are you up to, bro? Oh no, nothing, just sitting around with such and such, having a diary. And you'd be like, oh yeah, because you'd be so scared of what like you'd think about if you're on the phone. You know?
I remember one time, and it was towards the end of, so it must have been 2013, and I was home for maybe it was Christmas holidays, maybe it wasn't 2013, but no, it was January 2013 before I went back to Auckland, and I hadn't got into the Sevens team, and I'd been working at the Spates Ale House, and then after I'd finished work I went out, and then I walked home, which was like 10 k's, and thank goodness. Is
that because you drank your taxi money?
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
Or like I had it in my head. No, but even in Auckland, I'd never take taxis.
Yeah.
I'd always walk or run home. Like I used to go from city centre out to Upland, which is like beyond Remuera. That would be like 7 k's. Yeah. And yeah, same like getting home.
Do you not wear the old brothel creeper shoes, like the old slip-ons?
Yeah, I did. I don't know how.
No, I got hippo shoes, man.
Yes, scuffed out wooden heels. Yeah,
I hope you got some low arches.
Yeah, no, I've got good arches. Yeah. No, but yeah, I remember walking home along the causeway next to the estuary, listening to homebrew, which is, you know, that's like real dark shit.
Yeah, you said I've not listened to them, but yeah, you sort of alluded to it the other day, and I thought,
yeah, I think like homebrew was like my like I don't go there music. Like
yeah,
like I said to you, I live vicariously through homebrew. Like you know, don't go there. Like, you know, probably don't drink so much either. But
yeah, no,
don't go there.
I've not listened to them, but I know a few people who do, and it's I don't think I need to sort of treat myself to that right now. And saying that, though, I'll be definitely listening to a little bit on the way home too. But I think those sort of like creating those spaces and just listening and think, like having that time to actually just think about things and be like, that's that bit where you sort of feel shit and you're like, oh, why do I feel shit? Why do I keep doing this? And like you've sort of got to. There was that, and then as I started to sort of begin to mature a bit too, you know, understand what was important, understand what I was doing to myself, and things like that, and I was getting motivation from other people too. Like every now and then I'd see someone do something, I'm like, fuck, I want to do that, and I'd be like, but I'm just a bum who smokes stories and gets on the post, and like, you know, but every now and then I'd just put some shoes on and go for a run, and I'd be like, fuck, that felt pretty good, and you stick at it for a bit, and then you'd be tongue over and you'd fade off and stuff, and like, so there was always flashes of that, but I think with my thoughts, only till probably mid-20s I really started sort of listening to myself and unpacking things, and probably a lot of it was just you start having time. You start, like, you're not so pushed around by the world in the way that people sort of expect you to do behaviour, and you always got to do something and be doing this, and you're sort of less busy in a different way, less mentally busy, because you've started to calm down, and you're not doing something every weekend to preoccupy yourself from life.
That was exactly what it was. Was preoccupying, because especially in optometry, Monday to Friday was like lab and lectures or clinic, and so we were like, because we've had some students in at work, and I was checking to them, they're talking about you do an eye exam, then you dispense something, and you feel real reluctant to suggest the best thing, because it's like, then they're paying the uni. It's like, I'm paying the uni, you're paying the uni, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah. And then, like, you got to the weekend, like, I'd go play rugby, and then just out of your head.
Yeah. And
then it was like Monday, I've got to do it
it's
again.
a convenient distraction, eh?
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, we all do it, let's be honest. And some people use different things and different ways of going about it, but I think eventually, I like Kane's go sit in the room for an hour. Fuck. I actually love doing that now, because I've done it for a bit, and I don't do it. I only did 1 or 2 sessions, but so I flaked out on that one. But it's just such a powerful thing, and like, everyone goes, I've got shit to do. And it's like, yeah, but like, the benefits of doing that.
Did you solve heaps of your shit to do?
Yeah, but I didn't say I had shit to do. I actually was real keen to do it, and like, Rebecca did it as well. She was real keen, and she loved it.
She did the Arab Hour as well.
Yeah, she did 1 or 2 of them. I don't know if she did 2, but she did one when I did one. And she said she really enjoyed it, but to be honest, she's probably just thinking about gardening the whole time. But I like it because, despite we say we're not busy, quite often we keep ourselves really busy. And like, I often speak about how people talk about going hunting for their mental health, and like, it's how I process things and stuff. I'm like, I went hunting the other day, and I did an overnighter, and besides the 12 hours that you have to stay in your tent for when it's dark in winter, sitting there thinking about how cold it is and listening to your dog snore, there's not a lot of downtime if you're actively hunting the whole day. Like, you're cooking a feed, and you're doing this and you're doing that, but you're glassing for deer, and then it's getting dark, and you're heading back home. You're not actually sitting there and letting things bubble up and going, yeah, that's an interesting thing that's come up that I've not really thought about, or I've not really dealt with. Like, if you're going for longer trips, there's that downtime. But, these weekend missions, you're driving, you're thinking about what you're doing driving. You might have a little bit of time there if you turn the music down or turn it off. And
so do you do that very often, drive without music?
Yeah, when I'm not tired. Well, you shouldn't drive when you're tired anyway, but people do. But like, when I'm fresh, when I'm like a fresh brain, I'll sit there and quite often just drive for an hour and just see what comes up. And fuck, do the music. That was weird. Yeah, unpack a few things and stuff, and just sort of get to where you can. And I mean, I think this is the other thing too, is like, you don't have to sit there and solve your life. It's fractional. You do bit by bit. And figure out why you don't like a song. That's quite a good one. I put up a bit of a guilty pleasures playlist the other day, and start listening to a few, and you get a bit fucking, and you think, oh well, that's a weird thing to happen, like to get tension just from that song. What's that? Where's that? Everclear, Wonderful, talking about parents splitting up. Fuck, it used to be a belter for me, mate. Fuck. Sit there and like nearly start crying in my bed or something, and like I'd be like, fuck.
Well, it was like Dean bringing up Blind Spot album. I was like, yeah, shit, I thrashed that. That got me, like, I used to listen to that before I go to a swimming race.
Yeah,
that was awesome. No, I studied to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
This was in high school though.
Timeline with music, like you can play a song, and your episodic memory will take you, or autobiographical memory, whatever which one it is, will take you back, and you can sit there and be like, fuck, that's right, that's when I was hanging out with such and such, and we're driving around getting baked in their car or something, and you're like, fuck, don't like that song anymore. Then of course you can play, you can, through gradual exposure and stuff, you can sit there and be like, hey, I can actually sit with this discomfort of who I was and play it, and then like that was another thing I was doing on the way up here, play some songs, and I'd be sitting there and be like, hey, I can actually just enjoy this song now. It's quite cool. I've obviously processed through that link there of that memory, and I'm actually alright with that, and I was alright that I went through that stage. And
Nicole and I've done that heaps. They grab like high school playlists and just like sit on the couch and just like talk about like, where were you when,
what it reminds you of.
What does this remind you of? Like, what were you doing when this song was around?
Fascinating, eh?
Who were you hanging out with? Like, what were you doing? Like, oh man, and then you just like most of it, like, what the fuck was it? Not in a, like, I can't remember what I was doing, but like, why was I doing that?
Yeah, what was I up to? Yeah, I mean, like, and we kind of shun our past a bit too, eh? Like, you sit there and shame yourself for it too. Like, you got to be like, you got to kind of be like, that was a step on the path to who I was too.
Yeah.
And
well, that was what that Stutz documentary that I watched last night. That was one of the things Jonah Hill had. He had like this big life-size cutout of himself as 14-year-old.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh man, I was so ashamed of this person. And then I realized that I'm continuing the shame of it. And so I needed to, like, exactly what you just said there.
Yeah.
Appreciate that what that person went through is the reason why I'm here today.
Yeah, I think they do that in like the internal family systems sort of therapy and stuff. Like, you talk about your little person in your head, and you sort of tell them like, hey, it's all good, like, you'll be alright. Sort of like, things work out all good, and you don't have to be, and you sort of like process it through that. And I think there's lots of ways of doing that, but I like to remind myself like, hey, that was just a step on the path for you to become who you are now. So hey, it's all good, like, and you're not that person anymore, which is a really powerful thing to accept. Like, you sit there and go, yeah, I did that, I'm not that person anymore. And you let it go. Like, we all do things that we regret and you hope never get brought up again. And some people do, because people can't, so they just remind you of shit when they say, I remember you fucking did that when you were 16. You're like, oh yeah. But like, now you can be a bit more comfortable, be like, yeah bro, yeah I did. And that's not who I am anymore, and I think being able to process that kind of stuff, like, if you're holding on to it, like, you trigger, like, little triggers flick you, and like, music might come on, and you suddenly become a bit uptight around people that you love and stuff, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck, what's happening there, bro? Like, some unresolved shit. Yeah. And then of course none of us fine, but so I think that's real cool too. Like, those sort of songs and stuff is I quite like listening to that kind of stuff, and sort of like testing, prodding yourself, so like other people don't have to prod you, trying to figure out what makes you, like, where your triggers are, and sort of it's kind of that bit of filling in the cracks of being a bit more of a holistic,
that's a sort
resilient
of
person, I guess.
What I take out of meditation. Yeah, and like, so I'll sometimes lie on the old Shakti man. That's quite a good way to get into a zone, because you got to breathe into a bunch of spikes in your back.
Bit of interoception, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, your fucking back's on fire.
Yeah. Jeez, you get off there, your back is bright red.
Yeah, man, yeah, they're brutal.
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
But
Dog hates it, he stood on it before. He wasn't stoked about it either.
Yeah, the girls are trying to be psyching themselves up to stand on. I'm like, well, it's actually, you kind of don't want to psych yourself up to get it. You want to, like...
Yeah, it's an acceptance thing, eh?
Yeah.
This is happening. So
Yeah.
it's like a cold bath. Or,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you're just in there.
Although I don't know if you can fall asleep in a cold bath, but...
yeah, if you do, you're probably getting a bit hypothermic.
And then it's just kind of like how I do sort of a transcendental style thing, and then you find out that you're not really doing your transcendental mantra anymore, and you think about something else, and then you can start going, that's interesting, why am I thinking about that? And man, you end up down some thought rabbit holes, and then you come out of it again, and you're like, well, that doesn't happen anymore. Awesome.
Nah, it's definitely, like, it's got that weird, meditation always has that stupid, like, people like, fuck that, woke hippie jippy like shit, like, and you're like, but it's if you break it down to the process that it is, right, you're trying to avoid that emotional reaction and just observe things as they are, and you're basically rationalizing what you're looking at. Hey, what actually happened there? Is it worth being uptight about now, or what am I dealing with here, and stuff like that. And some types of meditation, I'd argue you should just say the word thinking and go back to watching your breath. But if you're really unpacking things and that's sort of your intention with a session, I think it's a really powerful thing that I don't do enough anymore. But I I do it in sort of like a maintenance thing now. I sort of do visualization and breath work and stuff on the side as well.
And I kind of find that, like I said, which sort of started off all this, is like, do you still have angst anymore? And I feel like when I was meditating, I like got rid of a lot of my angst. And when I was meditating, I was full of angst.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ironic. He's there fighting it. He's sitting there going, fuck, focus on something else. Don't bring that shit up. And it is, but it's like voluntary exposure to stress, right? Like you do it, and then through exposure to it, you deal with it and you're calm. And I think you're smoothing. Every time you go through something like that, you're smoothing your response to it, and you're like, okay, and I don't react as much to that now. Yeah,
but it's increasing the space between
stimulus
and response.
Yeah, that's it, and that's they talk about that in the Wedge too with old Scott Carney. He's talking about doing all these wild shit things to maximize that and get used to it. But a lot of it is, exactly that. You're actually just unpacking things, and I think. We're like I said before, we're real busy, like, and people say I'm not that busy, like we are. How often have you had half an hour of downtime today? For me, I haven't. Walking the dog this morning, and walking the dog in Tauranga, he's just flying around like a nut. So
and I can always say, I'm sitting in the car for an hour, but like, geez, that's full on.
Still focused,
and I'm listening to a podcast.
How are you finding the driving? Do you think people are getting better at driving?
Mate, I'm glad you brought it up, not me, because coming home I was like, man, I need to bring up commuting with Ryan as a fellow commuter. But we had a dude that was lobbying for National come in. Oh no, it wasn't even him, it was somebody else the other day, and we were talking about the Tauranga Expressway extension. Yeah. And so sure enough, I'm going past that Karapiro clusterfuck and just like at the Tauranga, where people come from Tauranga onto the State Highway 1, it's just a massive queue. Yeah. And I just go, that's calmer, isn't it? Like, how good would that road be right now? It's like, and yes, I just had to breathe through that whole 10-kilometre stretch, and then coming back, there's all those people again that there's a passing lane and people are straddling the centre line. I'm like, fuck, you're the problem, mate.
Bro, so we just dropped our speed limits from.
Oh, good.
Sold heaps. We've just dropped our speed limits from Carterton to Featherston. To 80 k's.
Good.
So it pumps it up by about 3 or 4 minutes, and like it's fine. You drove there, but
save some fuel.
You do actually.
That's what we noticed on Ep296.
So boring. That's what I started measuring. So it's like,
Ep296 you save a lot of fuel.
Yeah, you probably do. It's pretty windy and shit. It's like hammering it up those big hills, but like changing the speed limit doesn't stop driver behaviour. No. Like you're still stuck behind a car that you want to be going faster than,
or someone that's erratic.
Yeah, it's people's decision making and their behaviour that is the real issue, and changing the speed limit doesn't adjust that. Like you're just still going to break the law, but like whether you pass at 120 k's or pass at 100 k's at 80, people are still going to do it. And I think it's coming back to what I was saying. That's why I ask it. I just think people are so busy. Their days are so jam packed these days. Like, if you go get a sleep, you maximise your sleep. You go run your dog. You have a quick feed. Have a shower. Chuck your gear on. Shit, I'm 4 minutes later than I usually am. Where did that time go? Jump in the car. Some guys driving slow down the road. Hurry up, I'm just going to go. And I drove up the country the other day, and people just pull out now.
Oh, no.
And it's just like, what are you doing? And it's just like, it's not like...
You got cruise control?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst. You're like, mate. And then like, I even had it the other week coming back, I'm on cruise control, I'm in front, and you've said it to me, people just like to feel like they've achieved something by passing you. But they did the old pass me and then went slower than me, and I'm like, mate, I'm in cruise control.
Yeah. But it's just, I just kind of feel like people, like they're so busy that they've got to pass, and everyone's like they're an obstacle and things like that, and that's where the poor decision making comes in, and like because you are thinking of, I need to get to work, because if I don't get to work, I've got all this shit to do.
Well, that's how I crashed.
Yeah.
I was literally like 5 k's from Woodhill, and I was like, I'm going to take this opportunity to pass. And then I started the passing maneuver. He hadn't seen me, so he started speeding up. And then I was like, oh, this is a narrow road. I went to pull out, and he just was like, fuck, this is a messed up road. Whether he swerved or the road through his truck, and boom, then I'm off.
Yeah, and it's that simple too, eh? And then, but then we all say, oh, like, you know, better to turn up late than turn up dead. But
yeah,
then you see people passing like mental people, like, well, I shouldn't say mental people, like they're not caring so much for, like, all the time. Like, it's not a one-off thing. Like, I used to drive and you see like one person do a dodgy pass. Now it's like,
yeah,
how many are you going to get? And it's a worry because, you know, you get a bit older and you get kids in the car and stuff, and you're kind of like, fuck, really? Like, you doing this shit? And I like to think of traffic as a team sport now. It's my way of dealing with my.
Is that what Waikotah's got to do? It's a team sport, people. We're all on the same
help
team.
Everyone get there safe. And like, if someone wants to pass me, man, I'll like, right, bro, I'll pull over. Pass me. If you obviously want to get there quicker than I do, and
you pull up to the service station together.
Yeah, and you put traffic lights up, and you're up. But it's like, you got to kind of remember that it's not cars on the road; it's people.
Yeah,
people's lives and families and stuff like that. And fuck, it happens fast, man. Like, I've put a car into a power pole. I know how quickly it goes wrong.
Yeah.
It's not the one.
And how like out of control it is.
Yeah, like
even with ABS.
Yeah, you have enough time to think, fuck, and then what's going to happen, and then it happens, and it's like, shit, that happened fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was, I remember.
I'm an average driver.
I remember it was like, boom, boom, and I went.
Yeah, the sound of the glass gets you. Eh?
No, I had no glass, but just my airbag, and I just remember I was luckily pinned into the back of my seat, and I had slowed down enough, but I was still going fucking fast.
Yeah.
Did I send you the photo of the front of my car?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember thinking, oh, no good.
No good. Yeah, but I was just like slapped the airbag away and just went, fuck.
Yeah.
And got out, and like the whole back end of my car is looking quite nice, and the front end of my car is imploded, and I was just like, thank God for the safety features.
Yeah, well, I had the reverse. I skidded out and hit it with the back end.
Yeah.
Front was looking alright. The back was totaled, but yeah, again, just impatience for me as well, and just skidded out on wet road, and you sit there and it's like, oh yeah, but you're alright. It's like, man, you gotta learn from that shit. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, and as we, you know, people are always trying to get away on holidays, trying to do nice things and travel these roads, and with all this rain and stuff, the road's an absolute shit show. Good time to have a ute. You know, you can at least bounce over a few potholes.
Yeah, I'm glad I've got 4-wheel drive on mine.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, Outlander.
Yeah, so it's so I don't commute anymore.
Yeah.
I just take the train. Well, yeah. I still commute. I don't drive over as often. I just take the train because it's getting so busy and people are in just so much of a rush that I was, you know, you're turning up to work
frazzled.
Yeah, commuting's the most stressful part of most people's day. Turning up to work in a state that you don't really want to be in to do your best work, you know. So I had to get on the train, do some reading, do some journaling, do some meditation, have a nap, do some work, turn up to work, already got half an hour or so of work done, happy to have breakfast, coffee, and crack into my work. And why not?
Yeah,
petrol ain't getting any cheaper.
No. So you had a year of bush balance.
1 year. We have a bit of a hiatus this year through access reasons. It's good. I loved it.
Yeah. I got to come on a trip with you. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was great that you could come. We're hoping to get a few more. Kane was keen to come and do a bit and stuff, and we were sort of really keen to lean into that sort of space and get people to come along and help out and things like that. But, you know, unfortunately, chapters sort of... Our access dried up not for any fault of our own, but it's, you know, it's one of those fickle things that you can never guarantee.
Well, it's land, isn't it? It's commercial land.
That's it, mate. Yeah, things change, and you know, I went into that with my eyes pretty open, knowing that could happen at any time. So we're just sort of really keen to provide that opportunity for people, as much as possible, make the most of it. You know, if I could do it again, I'd do it a little bit different, and I will do it a little bit different this summer. But I think, you know, the whole idea of being able to show people what they're capable, take them out there and put them in a different environment, teach them a different set of skills. You know, go out and enjoy nature for what it is. Have a blat around in a 4-wheel drive. Shoot a few guns. Maybe shoot a deer. You know, cook marshmallows on fires and things like that. Just trying to bring them back to that sort of simpler way of living and realizing that there's an actual benefit to that. And a lot of it, again, it comes back to that thing. It's like teaching people capability. Look what you're capable of. Look what you can learn in 24 hours. And you think you're a kid that can't learn at school. Because we're getting kids that are, you know, getting into shit with cops and stuff like that, 13, 14 years old, older, younger. And then people who's, you know, a dad that just wanted, like with you, a dad that just wanted to come out and spend time with their kids in the outdoors and didn't really have the experience to do it.
Yeah.
So we're sort of covering people that don't have the experience, the opportunity, the financial means, or things like that, and just trying to break down all those barriers and get people out there and get them enjoying the outdoors and seeing what it's like, trying to get them hooked. Yeah, I love it. I love seeing just people develop and watching kids grow and being a little bit uncomfortable and overcoming it and stuff, and just watching them smile when they realise they're actually capable of stuff, because some of them are kids that have been told that they're not from various people, that they're no-hopers and things like that. You can sort of see it in them. They come in and with a different body posture and go home with a different, you know, bit more upright and a bit more of a smile on their face.
We even had that with the weekend. Nash did some therapy, man.
What's that?
Old Nash did some therapy, didn't he?
When's that?
On the weekend I was there, we got told that they might have been scared of dogs, and
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah,
they're riding in the back seat together, sitting by the fire together.
Yeah, one of the girls. Yeah, they're not so fond of dogs. Yeah, I mean he's a bit of a ripper like that. He's kind of, you know, he's what you see is what you get, but he's a happy, loving dog. Like he's not a troublemaker really. And people, I found, he was a really good metric for people of how they're behaving, how they're experiencing it. So like you'd find that if people weren't that comfortable, they'd sort of project their caring onto the dog, and they go and look after the dog and stuff like that. And if you can read that, you can sit there and go, oh, maybe this kid needs a little bit more attention or something. We need to sort of get things in line for them, or and yeah, but most kids just like it's amazing. They don't need a lot of prompting, just have a good time out there, eh?
Yeah.
Like you give them time. We took a group of I want to say 8 kids out just camping, and I was like, shit, what are they gonna like? What are we gonna do if they get bored? Man, they were just in the river building dams in the freezing winter. Like I was cold as shit, like wearing like puffers and shit. They're like in there with their shorts, like in the river, splashing around, yelling at the dog and throwing sticks and stuff, and just doing heaps of cool stuff, lighting fires, and you know, just doing fun kid stuff, being kids.
Yeah, I don't remember it because I was pretty young, but my dad grew up going, and so my grandpa grew up going to a farm in Waikato, and we went there camping. Again, it was like our tent unit and a gas cooker and
yeah, man,
maybe some camp beds, and I'm pretty sure me and my brother just mucked around by a creek for 3 days.
Yeah, it's a real cool way of showing people like you don't have to have a lot of things to be content.
Yeah,
and like nice things are nice, but
even camping in Glendy Bay, there was nothing to do there. We took the girls there this year, and yeah, that was the same. I don't think we did go into Wanaka twice, I think. Went to Puzzle World and maybe a day around town. That was about it in the whole week. But
good, eh?
Yeah,
like, good. Be bored. Learn that you're okay just to be bored and you make your own fun and enjoy spending time with your family. And like, yeah, kids are like, oh, it's boring, but they always find something to do.
Yep. This thing here is the easy way to have an enjoyable time.
The telly. Yeah.
But it's not connected to anything, so we've got a cast to it.
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah.
I cut my aerial off my room.
Nearly
ripped my gutter down doing it. So that's a different story.
Yeah. And so, you know, it'll get like, can we watch a movie? It's like, nah.
You'll be right.
And then, hours.
Yeah. It's just breaking through that initial discomfort, eh?
Did you hear Jordan Peterson talk about how him and his wife were busy, and so Michaela, he said something about like once she broke through the initial distaste at not having something to do, and he's like, and now she's able to become a self-soothing, self-regulating, self-aware individual.
Semi-self-aware.
Yeah. Semi-self-aware.
Yeah.
Carnivore diet.
Yeah.
Pretty militant on that.
Yeah. She's fairly strong on that opinion. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, with Lara, it's, 20 months. You turn the TV on, man, dog. Like, it was terrifying when we, I'm never going to watch TV with my kids. And then everyone's like, yeah, because they know. And then we put the TV on once, maybe out of just sheer fluke, and she was in the room, and like when she was a real small baby, like maybe a few months old, and she was just like dog eye gaze towards it, and I was like, whoa, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
And now she'd bring you the TV remote. Blippy. And you're like,
oh fuck, Blippy.
Hey, better than some.
Better than Pepper.
Cocoa Melon, yeah, Peppa Pig.
Cocoa Melon too. Oh fuck,
yeah.
Billy, when you listen to this one day, gosh, she had a meltdown, and it was like a Paper Plus, and there was a bloody one of those kids off Cocoa Melon. She couldn't bear to leave him behind. I was like,
oh no, yeah.
Mate, he's not coming with us.
No, it's just not happening.
He was life size as well. I was like, oh dear, this is supposed to be like a bookshop.
yeah. It's tricked us, you bastard. They always got toys floating around somewhere.
Yeah.
I was terrified by it, and I sort of
terrified.
I was, because it's so strange to watch a kid that's just so into everything, and then you turn a TV on and they just turn into it, like they just look, and they just like you can wave your hand in front of them, and they'll just go like that, and they won't even protest, they won't even tell you to bugger off, they'll just move your hand, and it's like, man. And there's all this thing about screen time and kids and things like that, and I'm very well aware of it, because I used to measure my screen time and do all these things, and I try not to pull my phone out around Lara and things like that, or let it get between me and her, like have her there and me going like this, and like the Cocoa Melon and stuff, just it's a high stimuli thing. But she goes to it when she gets bored now. TV, and it's like, no, are we going to do something else? And yeah, if you can pass that initial urge, sweet as, she'll go out and run around the bush, she'll come and go walk the dog or whatever, to ride her bike, cool. But it's just that little bit, I'm a bit uncomfortable, can we watch the telly? And snapping that, like, that's for child development, like just letting your kids watch TV all the time. And I know, like you gotta have a shower sometimes you put a bit of telly on so you can have a shower and go to the John, without a 2-year-old banging on the door.
It's pouring with rain and you need to do an hour of power.
I do.
that was my hour of power. They watched a movie.
Yeah. Well,
like I was like, how did you do that? It's like,
nap time.
They were watching a movie.
Yeah, we did a nap time. But yeah, if you look at like the attachment and stuff, and you can say what you want about attachment theory and all that, but there's a thing called serve and return, and it's basically your caregiver responsiveness. And a lot of it's down to eye gaze, and they offer up a gesture, or I think they've got some technical term for it, but basically it's their first initial communication and how responsive you are to it. So like if they're going, hey Dad, and you're like, yeah, what? But it's not the appropriate response, or it's delayed or something, like you can get it right 90% of the time and it's fine, there's no effect apparently. But then there comes a point where it's not the appropriate response, and the kid becomes detached, and you start having apparently you start having issues. Well, the TV has the same issue, because they're engaged, but this person's talking to them, oh, what's this, is this a pig? It doesn't take long for the kid to stop talking back to the TV, because the response is inappropriate. And that's sort of where you get to this
first they're real into it and responding.
Yeah, and then they just shut down, and you think about that, you're like, yeah, of course, like if you and I are sitting at the table having a yarn, and then you put your phone out and start mucking around on it. I ask you something and you just don't respond. I'll ask you something again and you don't respond. I'll stop talking to you. Right, I'll be like,
I'll get my phone out.
Yeah, you get your phone out and go, fuck this guy. I'll just have a look and see what's online. And they basically do that. But then with the TV, it's the same. They're not getting that response pattern back. So, but if you watch TV with them and you're, hey, what's that? Is that or this? You've got that serve and return. So it's a bit more of it. So it's this sort of unaccompanied TV time, which is easier to fill in your day because sometimes looking after a kid's uncomfortable.
Yeah, either tomorrow or Tuesday or Friday, one of the days, we're going to watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and I know I need to watch that with them.
Yeah,
I remember being fucking
petrified. Spooky bit in there, eh?
Old long nose child catcher.
Oh mate, some scary shit in those movies.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
We've watched Mary Poppins and we've watched Sound of Music, and they're both pretty good.
Willy Wonka.
The
old, what's his name, Mr. Slugworth or something.
Yeah.
He's a creepy dude, eh? He's fucking put the willies up me.
Yeah.
Because he's like the old tempting devil in disguise.
Yeah.
We were a heavily Christian family back then. We're like, oh, the devil.
It's the devil.
But, he turns out to be he's actually on their team, eh? Trying to just sort of test
them out. Yeah.
Test their resilience. But, yeah, that's those are some scary movies.
I think we used to just fast forward through when he's in the village and he's got his big long nose out and I got candy, I've got toys. I'm like, fuck this guy.
I think that's just the way that it's filmed too. It's that old style and it's just, sort of like very Brothers Grimmy sort of feeling. I remember being terrified of Hansel and Gretel way.
Didn't watch that one. Yeah,
we watched it at our friend's house once, and it was one of those movies like we're sort of too young to watch, and the older kids were watching, and we didn't tell mum and dad we were watching, and you watch it in their family room, and I'm going home like, fuck, scared shitless.
Were you scared of Dumbo? Did you watch Dumbo?
Nah, I don't think so. Oh, maybe.
It was just that sort of trippy Disney, like loud noise, dark. I think it was like banging, crashing cymbals and stuff like that. It was just supposed to put it like without showing abuse to an elephant, just to kind of give you the picture that these people were being mean to Dumbo's mum.
There's a bit of fuckery involved. I think the old kids got it easy these days, with their nice cartoons.
No Fantasia, no Bambi, no Dumbo.
But they'll have different things to deal with that we never did, I guess, too.
Yeah, the old. It's like I put up a video the other day of what I thought of Threads after a day, and it wasn't really about Threads. I was just like, man, this is where meta as a concept, and it's pretty interesting on their back end. That basically it's just another way for them to collect your data.
Yeah.
But on the front end, it's the efficiency of a system, like just log straight in and ease of use. Here's all your people that you already have. You can speak to all those people that you already have. Just do it in a different manner. Integration, and that's why I said in the post, I was like, the biggest pain in the ass of like any system is when it's not integrated. Yeah, like, and for example, in optometry, we need to measure the prescription, and now we need to know the length of the eyeball because we want to track the length of the eyeball. And we want to know the eye pressure, and we also want to measure the tear layer, and we want to measure the curvature of the eye. And the piece of equipment that does all those uses a similar piece of hardware, but software-wise it's not integrated. You need to have like 3 different machines, and like one of the machines will do 2 but not the other. And it's just like, fuck's sake. And then to then extract the data, like, it'll come with its own software platform. But that doesn't integrate into your practice management software. And you're like, fuck now.
Silos, I mean, it's literally my life at work.
Yeah.
That's people's gripes. And sometimes there's a good reason for that, keeping things separate, like your medical system from your student management system or something like that, for privacy reasons and confidential information and things like that. But sometimes life gets tricky. Like, how smooth do you want life to be as well?
No, but it's also funny when someone has solved that problem.
Yeah.
But the users aren't using that integration. Like for example, driving this road, you get cracked windscreen. So you go into state insurance, fill in your form, fill in the claim number, sends you to the windscreen repair people. There's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
And
They
then,
nominate one for you?
you've got the 2 options.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you choose.
Yeah.
So then you got to fill in all your data again, and then you get rung up by the wrong place, and then you walk into the place, and then you got to fill in all your data again. You're like, why did I do that? There's also a certain car place out there that like I should have then write it out as well. You're like,
Yeah.
why did I submit this online for?
I think the thing with a lot of processes is people build them up as required
Yeah,
without that strategic sort of lens of how things are going to work for the user and what's the optimal thing going forward. How could this blow out, like doing a pre-mortem? How could this all go wrong?
and it's also funny that often those internet systems will be from a central thing, and then and it's supposed to funnel into a franchisee. That's what they're paying their franchisee fee for, but then they don't use the central equipment. Because this is how I've always done it.
Yeah. Well, that's the old cognitive entrenchment. People like doing it the way that they do. But I think with your optometry, you're probably looking at the fact that you're probably not paying exorbitant, as ridiculous rates as you could be for that development of that software, and therefore the people are only working to the limits of how much they can sell it to you for. Whereas Facebook and shit obviously got a bit of coin floating around.
Oh yeah.
So they can pull these strings and put integrate things and do these massive pooling of data and things like that. These small vendors, like they're operating on probably.
And then that's what I was saying about like websites and stuff. Like Spotify is a big example of use your Facebook.
Yeah.
And the ticketing websites are like, I will save everyone a step, log in with Facebook.
Yeah.
And I think again, Meta or Facebook or whatever they are going to the market saying integrate our app into your back end, and it'll be a smaller barrier for your customers, and so that'll quicken up the time to transaction.
Do you ever just want to fucking throw it all in the ocean?
Yeah.
Fuck, I do.
I even want to go back to before the 2280.
What? No snake? No snake?
No snake. Yeah. I think I'd be happy if we never had snake.
Trogdolite. Yeah.
How beaten were your buttons, man?
How would you gain status in college if you didn't have snake and smoked dairies on the cricket pitch?
I didn't do that, but yeah.
How would I?
Definitely played snake.
Yeah. I mean, I just think, like, you use technology, but sometimes, like, I love it for communicating stuff, and like I've made some great contacts and great friends through Instagram and stuff like that, just through finding like-minded people and sort of bringing knowledge and ideas and sort of helping each other and stuff, which is fantastic. But I just always
the ROI on it's questionable.
I always wonder on, like, whether the benefit's that great, or like whether
you would have found those people.
Nah, probably not though.
You don't think so?
No, not people down
No.
south and shit.
Yeah, it's true.
But like that's great. But then, like, how much it consumes people, and how much, like, I try and these days represent. I think, like, when people follow me, I think, fuck, they must think my shit's boring. It might just be familiar, and like people will be like, oh, fuck, I just unfollow this dude one day. Oh, there's one of his dogs skidding around. Yeah, cool. I'll give him another day.
But he's gone for another run.
Yes, the old sun's coming up. Cool photo of a farm that he doesn't even own.
Yeah.
But like I'm proud of that life too. Like, and I feel like it's representative, and like, that's what really spins my gears. Like, I sit there and, like, I'm proud of, I put my kid up, and you say what you want about putting photos of your kid online or whatever, but like, I am proud of the time that we spend with our daughter, and the times I have with my dog, and the things that we do, and that's why I like to use it, because I like to think that like there might be someone out there who's thinking like, fuck, like, is it worth even having a simple life?
Yeah.
I like to sort of say, like, hey, this is what I did, and this I actually really enjoy it. At the same time, reels just absolutely piss me off, even though I make my own ones. You know, and just how you get caught like in a bit of a scroll.
As in the like
scroll,
watch reels button.
Oh, like watch your one, and then like it does the old TikTok and flips up a new one. I'm like, bro, I did not ask for this. Like, and you know, that's where my angst comes from.
Stay in the carousel, and then it'll be like, do you want to watch it again? But sometimes it does drag you into the reels thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I'm sort of like, that's the problem. I don't pay enough attention. It just happens because you still get your phone in your hand like a drongo. But yeah, I think sometimes you just, I come to that point where you're like, oh, would it be easier to live without? And then it's like, the other half for me goes, well, social connection. If it's real, social connection is one of the greater predictors of well-being. So should you, like, are you going to do yourself a disservice by cutting yourself off from these people that you have good conversations with, you like yourself and my other mates that live a bit further away, and like the best method of communication is through that and keeping them updated. But at the same time, you know, would you have a better relationship if they didn't see what you're doing every day and therefore had to contact you and have it unload and have a yarn about it? Yeah. So I don't know. It's sort of, I'll be interested to see what it's like when my daughter picks up a bloody phone.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, I like to think that we'll sort of manage that.
Oh, we will. We'll solve the problem.
Yeah, well, you eventually do. Yeah,
it's humanity.
You sometimes have to do a couple of spirals one way or the other before you realise that it's not working.
I was just looking over there. They're all in line. Angela's Ashes, Sapiens, and Homo Deus. They're all about civilization and problem solving. Angela's Ashes, they didn't really solve the problems, but shit, they made some. God.
I've not read it. I've read Homo Deus and Sapiens.
I've got a very dark sense of humour, so I found the whole thing quite funny. Yeah. Like, because they're like heavily Catholic Irish, they tried to move to the States for a better life. That the dad like was drunk. But they would like hold on to like Catholic saviorism.
Do you reckon New Zealand's still the place for a better life? Or do you reckon there's a better place? For you? For you, speaking from like, you know.
New Zealand, I still would like to live in Italy for a period of time.
Because you're gluten-free.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Real good, eh?
I'll just eat all the Parma and the Parmesan.
Be on the gas all day.
Yeah, I'll just be on the wine, pork and cheese.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to live in a place that doesn't speak English and just like has a completely different idea about everything. And like Italy's part of Europe, but it's not. Like it's just got that whole Roman Empire thing still hanging over it.
Yeah.
And
that's
then,
pretty cool.
And then even Italy itself is like so provincial. Like talking to Francesco when he went to university in Turin, but he's Sicilian.
Is this your pen?
No, Francesco. What was this? He's the vet guy that did the pink eye study.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Just talk to him about like how provincial Italy is, and he'll say one thing in one dialect, and then he'll say another thing in the other dialect. And I've just been learning straight down the middle of Duolingo that's probably a bit bastardized. I'm like, what do you mean, man?
Yeah, but shit, if you're getting by learning a language, you're always probably going to strike those kind of things.
Oh yeah.
I just always look around. I mean, I haven't travelled a lot either, and I'm probably I'm probably a bit more easily contented in some aspects than other people, and I sort of always look around and I think, what's the best place to raise kids? What's the best place to, lifestyle and things like that. Like I like where I live and things like that, but it's just always interesting to see other people and think about how they feel. Especially when they live in different parts of the country. Like
for me, like I don't find it that like far fetched to go live in Europe or go live in the UK. But the people that like end up in Manhattan or end up in San Fran, and I'm like, well, how did you end up there? And like, how do you continue to live there? Like, it's such a different scale to.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a long way to the outdoors, I'd imagine, unless you sort of go into the ocean, it'll do some shit there.
You travel around the south, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've done down the west and back up the other side. And I've done a few tar hunts around Twizel Way and stuff like that.
Oh, sorry. Of the states.
Of the states. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, off track. So Texas, Arizona, sort of area.
Did that have any appeal to live?
Yeah.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah, I love cowboy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes and no way. Like they're like. I often say, like, you know, people see on the internet, like, people arguing and shit, and it's like, you just don't see that in Texas. Like, people don't spit at each other in the streets. Like, they're more respectful than here, sort of thing. It did, but then there's a sort of way of living there that wasn't appealing to. Like, it's still that big is better sort of thing. Like, I think I really like the country aspect of America, because although you could argue it's misplaced, they have a set of values in which they feel is important and which they stick by, and they've simplified their life in the way that they, like, you know. Yeah. I saw a great bumper sticker when I was over there: God's Guns USA. I was like, well, fuck. Okay. But, you know, like, if there's, you know, if that's all that matters. But, you know, like, they sit there and they talk about their utes and they're, you know, being able to go fishing and, you know, raise their kids and go to church and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, man, if that's your value hierarchy.
Drink a bourbon out of a Dixie cup.
Yeah, and then go to church next day and confession after you have a fight outside the pub or whatever. And, you know, but it's a simple, you know, it's a pretty simple question. Like, if I have these kinds of things, I'm pretty happy. I don't think everyone has that equation anymore. No. I think a lot of people haven't spent that time thinking about what actually makes them happy and why. Yeah. So that's always appealing, you know. It's just, but the American, like, in Texas, in the middle of Texas, people, like, you know, there's big cities, still big city life, and people live in that metropolitan feel and stuff like that. Yeah, they might have big ute, but they still live the fancy sort of shiny things.
Trying to hawk or something.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, and I think you got to strike that balance, and I just don't know how much legs America's got left. You know, to be honest, it's a very interesting place now. There's a lot going on there, a lot to think about. They're still doing great things, and a lot of very intelligent people doing fantastic things over there, but I think it's just, it's an interesting place where I'd prefer to visit than live. I'd love to take Rebecca and Lara over there and kick it around for a bit and just let them see what it's like, because it's
very diverse. Like I want to go through Texas, through New Mexico, up into Ohio, out to Washington and Oregon, and then also down like Carolinas as well. And I'd need to go all over the country, but then at the same time, you're like, well, I do want to go to New York and I do want to go to Boston. Oh no, if I can keep it. You can keep it? Oh, it just does nothing for me. Like, I go to Auckland, you hear me talking about it before. I'm like, she's big job. I think what I'd want to go. Actually, I don't know. I just would want to go to Central Park. I think that's about it. In New York, and then I'd want to go to watch the Patriots in Boston. Yeah, and maybe see the river turn green. See, I watched Rangers and Red Sox in Arlington and Fort Worth, and that was cool. Was that 4 hours? What's that? So it's 4 hours. No, Fort Worth. So that's no. How long does the game take? Oh fuck yeah, probably 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. Yeah, a few pints slung before you get home. It's a long game. But it's a good show, like it's a family show sort of thing, and they get, it's very entertaining and stuff like that, and that's like one of those cool things. And I kind of feel like America is the show sometimes. You go to Manhattan just to see the spectacle of it, not because you like it, just because you're like, right, look at the state of this place. And same with Texas. You can look there and go, man, look at all these bloody big ass utes. And can you go? Do you know if you can go visit Tesla? I wouldn't have a clue. It wasn't a thing it probably was a thing, but I wasn't aware of it when I went over there. Because that'd be the other thing. We'd be like, go to Austin, go to Cobley Mothership, if you could, go look at Tesla. Yeah, I'm sure you'd probably try running into Lex Friedman.
Do you reckon they'd be missing out on that opportunity of not letting people pay to come and have a poke around in their shop? I reckon they'd be keen to make a few bucks. Heaps of people would want to go see where their Tesla's made.
Yeah. I reckon old APL up there at Cambridge need to do tours, just show people a massive fucking crane. This is how we move one big window to the other.
Wow, people watch all kinds of shit these days.
I love factories.
Yeah.
Watching big cranes.
Austin's alright. I went to Austin and had a poke around. It was good. Walked into the state capitol by accident. It was like their, government branch or whatever they call it there. And I was like rocking around with the sunnies and a singlet and a pair of stubbies, and I walked into pretty much Parliament and proceedings. And they're like, sit down. I was like, fuck. So I sat down in this chair of this viewing, like you sort of that we have in Parliament, sitting there like sweating in a singlet and some stubbies, and I was like,
and they were arguing.
Yeah, they're talking about something, and I was just like, man, once everyone stopped looking at me, I walked out and was like, far out.
Have you ever gone down to Parliament just for a lunch hour?
No. No, I sort of often feel like I could get more involved, but also, just to be, I don't even read the news. I don't subscribe to a news thing on my phone or anything like that anymore. One of the only ones I subscribe to on Instagram, I think, is this one called All Sides Now, just because it shows you the media bias across left, centre, and right, and how they portray different stories. So I like doing that, just to sit there and see how people get spun it, and it just reinforces my reason not to listen to the news. But at the same time, it's sort of, as a responsible citizen, I think you probably need to at some point.
Yeah, it's almost like the next 6 months you need to turn it on, but also you don't want to.
Yeah, it's the show again, right? And it's like, I just find it consumes and divides people a little bit too much, and I find out about it anyway. Like I go on Instagram and someone's sharing something, I'm like, oh, what's this? Go have a look, and like, oh yeah. I didn't know about the Titanic thing. I was like, what are people talking about?
What Titanic thing?
The sub that went down to the Titanic and got...
No, you're telling me, mate.
So apparently they were trying to have a poke around in the Titanic, and they sent some fairly affluent dude.
Was that like it
yeah, and it
imploded?
Yeah, whatever the word is, like it got crushed.
Is that the context of that implosion?
Yeah. So that's the gig, and then there was something else going on. I don't know. This is the thing. See, I'm just like out of touch. But the thing is,
I follow a couple of intelligence guys on Instagram. They're like, they're quite interesting, because it's like, fuck, this Taiwan stuff's pretty escalated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing though. But like, how it's so anxiety provoking and stuff, like for people when they get so overwhelmed and caught up in it, and like you have to have an opinion and you need to know about Russia. Oh, that Russia thing, I didn't know about that. Oh, Wagner, the guy who hooked around and had a go, drove towards Moscow or whatever. I was like, what are people talking about?
Yeah, no, I don't know about this. I just know about Greta visiting the Ukrainian fella.
Oh yeah,
Zelensky.
Does she have some wise words?
Oh, I think so. They had a big chat.
Yeah.
I think they both didn't look at each other.
You guys are making a real mess of the environment doing this scrap.
Oh, hard.
Yeah,
that's what I was
if you
like.
Could knock this shit off.
Like, I didn't listen to anything. I just like kind of looked at it and was like, "This is massively ironic."
Yeah, it's like, is that the right place for that kind of thing? Like,
it was strange.
Yeah,
the whole thing's strange, really.
Yeah, it is. Then again, I don't follow it enough to make it, informed view on it. But I feel like they say, everyone turns into a submarine expert in
COVID.
Yeah, and they turn into
the
modern warfare expert. Well, what Russia's actually doing, mate, is this, and it's like, what do you do for a job, bro? I'm a plumber.
And it's the recession, so everyone's a bloody economist.
Yeah.
Not that they get it right, but
I mean, all I know is petrol's going up, and food prices going up.
Yep.
People at the bottom are suffering more, but the people at the top can absorb it a bit easier, and it's an unfortunate thing. We're talking about it, Rotorua and stuff like that. There's people there doing it pretty rough. Just in that, in those what do we call it? Emergency housing, or whatever it's called. Pretty sad to see, like that. Our country's going to that, but at the same time, we live a pretty comfy life in our country for a long time.
Yeah.
As well, we get accustomed to a pretty high standard of living, and our brunches and bloody coffees in the morning and shit. So maybe it's a good reminder that life isn't always so shiny.
Well, it's weird, It's like in the same country, you can be on Ponsonby Road and see 2 Maseratis go by.
Mm.
And then you can be 2 hours down the road in Rotorua and see people get arrested in the Pack and Save car park.
Yeah.
Or even just within Auckland, you know.
Mm.
Difference between Ponsonby Road and Mount Eden, Mount Roskill.
And sometimes not that many choices
K Road.
separate those people too, eh?
Yeah.
You can go from shit hot to doing pretty rough pretty fast if you average decisions.
Mm.
You know, you go down the wrong path with the wrong people pretty quick. They say four bad decisions from being homeless or something, I think, is it?
Is that all?
Oh, that's what they reckon. I could think if you get there a bit faster if you made a couple of real shit ones. But
there are ways.
yeah, it's the reality of life, eh? Like, you can get whipped away from you pretty fast. Like,
Yeah.
you sit there and think you're doing pretty cushy, and then times get tough, and it's time to start living skinny, and not many people might like that idea.
Mm.
Yeah, which is
when do you make the change? How bad's the pain? Yeah.
well, you usually wait till it gets real bad. I think.
What does the Whoop do for you? Has it run its course?
Yeah, it has. It's I've had it for probably nearly a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca's got one now. So.
Influencer.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I think it's a blue tick just like that.
Yeah. Whoop sponsorship.
Yeah,
send it his way.
Yeah, can I get like at least 5% off next time? They're not cheap, but I think for me it's just that accountability. I think, and making sure you look after yourself. Like, we can be, like I was saying at the start, like hard charges, and missing a lot of aspects of our well-being that need to be looked after. And I think for me, like, I've stopped getting up all the time at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I was getting up at 4:30 and stuff, and
to get shit done.
Yeah, and just and some of it's just a bit of blow assness too. Like, just I'm up before you, brother.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, but and then are you looking after yourself? Is this sustainable over 5 years? Well, no, not really. So what I looked at was what's the biggest lever that I can pull is my sleep. So right, I need to measure that and try and maximise it. What's the next thing? My well-being and fitness. I want to be a father that can play with their kids when I'm older and be present and look after my kids and take charge in an emergency and be fit and strong. So how do you measure that? How do you do it without just finger in the wind going?
In the wind, yeah.
I think I'm doing pretty good.
Iometer.
Yeah, so I think...
Well, the iometer is actually quite a good way to look at it. Stand in front of the mirror and go...
Yeah. And grip strength, yeah, is good. How
much do you bench? I asked my brother the other day. He was,
and not as much as I like to.
Yeah, he was talking about health and stuff. Then I gave him the long list of...
Ask me how much I deadlift.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, gave him the long list of things that he could be looking at. And then I just got into... then there's like the real low-hanging fruit thing, like what's your waist circumference, what's your chest circumference?
Yeah, bro, yeah.
Like, and then I was like, how much do you bench?
Yeah, well, that's it. It's... I think those kind of things, like measuring things, you got to measure things to improve them.
Yeah.
Like when you leave that bagginess and things, like, you got to have a bit of flexibility in your life, but when you leave that bagginess, it's flexibility to move both ways, to slide as well. And it's that accountability, and that's like the Whoop thing was accountability, and the same with people on Instagram. Like, I surround myself with people that do things better than me or that hold me to account, and I know that you shouldn't be always like thinking about, well, fuck, what is right? I kind of think of me if I was getting out for a run, but like, if you're not going for a run, it's like, well, the bro would be disappointed.
I appreciate that you do go for a run.
Well, you're here, so yeah, thank you. But at the same time, you've got to have those systems in place, right, where people support you and people hold you accountable to, like, hey man, like, that's not really the behavior we expect from you, like, slinging shit at people online or something, like, you know, like that you see. Like, unfortunately, you don't see everyone's day-to-day stuff, but I'm a big believer in, like, and there's, you know, you look at the data, but surrounding yourself with people that are also trying to improve themselves or also hold themselves to a standard, and they're going to bring you up just the same as you hang out with people that don't hold you to a standard. They're going to let you slip, and then you wonder why you're hanging out.
Those 4 decisions.
You're hanging around at the bottom, passing something around, wondering what's going on, you know. It's one of those things, and I think for me, making sure I look after myself is probably one of the more important things for me now. Like, it's all down to your resilience and your capability and everything like that. But being fit for service, to be of service to my family and my friends, and being able to look after, you know, my parents when they're older and things like that, having to look after all these different things and sit there and go, like, I want to be useful. I don't want to be just, when the time comes, I'll show up, I'll turn it on. When it's go time, buddy, I'll flick the switch. It's like, it doesn't work like that. Might work like that once.
The switch is short of fuse.
Yeah, that's right. You flick the switch and you've never done the wiring.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I was so sure that I was just going to be the man just then, and it's just not happening. And I just, it's one of those things that's just a baseline thing that measures my sleep, my strain, my recovery. Got a few people that also have one and run it, and we compare a few things, so you get, you know, a little bit of accountability, and it's just interesting. I like data and looking at things and sort of extrapolating information and things like that, and watching myself progress. So it's just a cool way to do it. I wish it was cheaper. I wish you could get like them cheaper and give them to people so that you could help them. You know, like whack one on someone who's just to show them, like, look at these changes. Here's the quantitative data showing that your life is improving, that these small changes in your life improve your life and you're on the up. Because a lot of self-development and performance, you know, coaching and stuff like that, it's really hard to quantify.
Yeah, there's that, or one of the two. There's CGM, there's heart rate variability and heart rate monitoring. Do you go so far as go do a VO2 max test and do another one in 6 months?
Nah. I'd love to.
But that like, that's where you start getting, like, the barrier for entry starts to become harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you get an impedance and you're like, well, it could be right. You get 2 impedance, you're like, probably right.
Yeah.
You get half a dozen of them and you're like, oh, well.
I think probably a blood test would be better thing for me to follow up first.
Blood test first?
Yeah, just get your levels.
Well,
go to the dentist more.
I tried to follow mine and they told me, wait another 6 months. I was like, thanks, bro.
What? To get one?
No,
to get
another one. They're like, no, you did one 6 months ago. Wait 6 more. I was like, I don't need to see you. And if I do need to see you, I'd like to see you.
Yeah, it's interesting that sort of you don't have that decision making. Like, you can't just be like, can I not just pay?
I asked them that, and justifiably they're busy, didn't get back to me. But yeah.
What's that? Just too busy sorting out other things? Or?
Oh yeah, no.
Where do you go? Your doctor?
Health of society is not great.
Nah, it's not. And I mean, I know.
And when I've got a battery of healthy blood tests and I'm wanting them to do them again, he's just like, "Do you mind?" Yeah,
and I mean, you're not a critical case. I would imagine, like, if you came in huffing and puffing and saying, "Hey man, I feel pretty garbage," can have a blood test, he might hook you up. But if you come in and you look relatively healthy and fit.
I've got like 3 or 4 sets of blood tests now that sound pretty good.
Yeah.
He's like, would you fuck off?
Yeah, bro, you're just blowing your own trumpet. Piss off. Yeah, it's I kind of, yeah, like, you've got to have, I think for me, like, these kinds of things, like before I had before we had Lara, I was like through my late 20s, early 30s, like I was pretty dialed in, like dialed in, like this time I do this time I do that, and then as you'll know, when you have a kid, it just blows it out of the water, and you have to. And now it's how adaptable can I be?
Oh mate, the amount of people we've had in the last, and I think it's partially winter and a shit summer, that have come in just like their nervous system up the whack, and then I'm like, so luckily we've got like, so what do you like to do? And it's like, oh, I've got 2 kids. How old are they? Oh, one's 6 months and one's 2. And I'm like, how much sleeping you have? I get up about 4 times in the night. I'm like, jeepers. And like, oh, that's an improvement. I'm like,
Yeah, that's on a good day.
I was like, yeah. Well, unfortunately, here's your answer.
Yeah, and it's true. But I think sometimes we play off that the price of having kids, like, you know, like.
Oh, is this an excuse?
Yeah, no, well, not as an excuse, but we sort of go, like, you know, that there's a fair bit of suffering, like, bit of self-sacrifice that goes on with having kids, and I think I get a little bit frustrated. Do I get frustrated? Yeah, I do. About, like, when you see memes on Instagram about, like, kids trashing houses, and oh, you know, when I'm sitting there and I'm thinking my house is nice and tidy, and you walk around and go, oh no, and the kids like painting the walls and stuff. I'm like, I don't
just clean my house, and then 20 seconds, 4 hours to clean my house, 20 seconds on my kid in there, and
and I don't like the sort of, like, I get the jest in it, and it's like, you know, you're making fun of an average situation and stuff, and it's like lighthearted sort of humor at it. But I kind of don't like how some people really adopt that narrative of like having kids is such a burden and stuff, when it's kind of most of the time you get to choose.
I knew you were going to say it's your choice.
Yeah, no, that's right. Most of the time you get to choose, and like it's usually a non-quantity. Like, you realise that, yeah, for the first few years it's pretty average, unless your mates are terrible and they lie to you. Like, most people tell you, like, yeah, man, you're pretty tired.
Some people get lucky.
Some people, apparently.
So they say.
Lucky you. But you know what I mean? Like, it's the price of having a family as well. Like, and I actually, you know, now we've got Lara and stuff, and I've seen childhood, you know, from birth and stuff. It's one of the most satisfying things that I've done, and I genuinely feel sorry that some people might not experience it. But at the same time, yeah, I don't like how people sort of get into this thing of saying like, having kids is such a drama. It's like, look, man, like, so's owning a ute. Like, you fucking look after that thing too, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, you go for a service, and they're like, oh, you just did a couple of events in the how much is that? $400. Like,
yeah. See your air filter? This is what a clean one looks like. And you're like, yeah, bro, just put it in. Come on.
Yeah, that was what it was.
Yeah.
It was like, I've got an air filter and another filter. Do you want us to change it? Yep.
Yeah.
Of course I do. Like,
it's preventative maintenance. Yeah.
It is, especially like for us. It's like, yeah, we drive from Tukurua to Taupo most days.
Yeah, I'd like my car to keep operating it. It's
I'm not about to go buy a new one, you know, and when I mean a new one, a new one that comes with the bloody service. Isn't that bizarre? Eh? Comes with the servicing, I suppose, because they don't have to do much.
Yeah, well, it's probably just built into the cost, eh?
Yeah,
and they just replace on warranty. But yeah, that's why I stopped going to the dealership, because they'll just, every time I go there and there'd be something wrong with it, I will just replace it. It'll be $4,000, and it'll be like, what? Can't you diagnose it a bit more and see if you can get like an aftermarket? Oh no, you're standing this in one $4,000. No, take it down to the mechanic. Sorry, bro, I keep whacking this thing. Take it down to the mechanic down the road, and they're you know, they're like, oh yeah, that's $295. We've changed that part. I'm like, bro, my man, thank you. Take my money.
Take my money. Come back to you.
But you know, sort of hopping on. I think with kids, like, there is that, you know, years of suffering, but with anything worthwhile having, it's usually there's some implicit suffering somewhere. And
like with kids, there's like things that are so fucking intense that brings you to tears, and you're like, wow, I'll go through that to feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, it brings the best out of you too, though. Like, it's the old, like, I thought having a dog was a fantastic mirror of who I was as a person. You know, like, that dog can bring out literally every different behavior of me, and like highlight my weaknesses and all these different things. And then you get a kid, and you are required to be a better person. Just bang, today, be a better person. Sacrifice your sleep. And one of the mates, he was messaging me the other day, bro, when does this, like, he's got I think he's 9-week-old or something, and he's when does this get better? And I'm like, it gets better. You get used to it. I said, you get used to that level of suffering, and it just becomes your baseline, I think. And I think, because I can't speak, from 100% experience, 2-year-old. But if you've never suffered greatly before, or like really done something really freaking hard, it's the big slap in the face. Like, here's the eye opener. Like, this chapter of your life is going to be hard, yo. But you'll become better and be able to handle stuff. And it's amazing how well you can rise to the occasion. You sit there and go, now that I have a kid, or now that, because my child was there, I had to deal with that situation when I usually would just avoid it, or, or blah, blah, blah. And you have to be the strong person, and it fortifies you in a way, which I think it's hard to find elsewhere. Probably elite sports and stuff like that, people playing sports, they'd probably find it, but like in common life, if you're brunching and just cruising around, like, work's your biggest problem, right? And things like that, that'll probably be in your relationships, they're probably going to bring your biggest challenges, unless you're into something else.
Nice, man.
Awesome.
I think for all those people that have been complaining about my podcast not being about hunting, I think we spoke about 2 seconds.
Summer's coming.
Summer's
coming. Stop raining. No. Half the Rohini's access keeps getting blown out on the hot space. Kashmir Road's taking a hiding.
Yeah, you can't get into Kiko Road. Yeah. It's all rough. Yeah. There we go.
Shout out to the brothers getting out there and still getting it done.
Yep. And then we go to the people that think this is a hunting podcast. There you go. Some hunting.
All about it.
All about it. Sweet. Let's wrap it up.
Awesome, brother.